What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Bets and Ball Games with Edwards and Greeson. We are recording on Wednesday at 1 p.m. December 3rd. We are presented to you by FanDuel, and let's tell you about our friends at GameTime. SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, plus over 350 more universities, everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, and 40-plus ounce bottles and shaker cups, SE16 for the 20% discount to viewers. What's up, Jay? I think we both have new head coaches since we last convened.
We do. I am probably a little more pleased with the start of my alma mater's head coaches to opposed to yours, but I imagine you are happier than what you could have been.
I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy. I think I'm as happy as you are. We'll see who we get for OC. And we'll talk a little bit more about coaches here momentarily. But let's get into the good, bad, and ugly from the final week of the regular season. Have at it.
All right, I'm going to punt my original good. We'll move that to later. My good is the do you remember the movie Johnny Dangerously?
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Okay. Well, there's a scene in there where they have elephantitis of the testicles. Kalen DeBoer has elephantitis of the testicles because going for it on fourth down and getting it twice within field goal range in a gotta have or you're gotta go football game in Auburn. Tip of the visor, my man. It's part of the good when you get it, but you got it, so you're good.
Exactly. I mean, cojones the size of basketballs. But can I throw a conspiracy theory at you?
That man's wearing a circus tent as a jock strap. They're so damn big.
Yeah, that was. But I thought about it the next day. I could not believe he was doing it when he was doing it. I was like, what's he doing? But was he doing it because he's not happy there and he knew they would fire him the next day? So
what's the name of our show, brother?
Bets and Ball Games.
Was he doing it because a whole bunch of Alabama fans had Alabama minus 5.5?
Perhaps. That's probably a better alternative theory. Okay.
Now, I'm doing that with no sources. I'm just saying, if you're going to throw out conspiracy theories, because the last one was –
that's the last one.
I was sitting there going –
the last one's what I'm talking about. The last one's the one I'm talking about. The other one, I'm like, maybe not feeling good about his kicker. Or, the last one is the main one I'm talking about. I mean, because my first Bama buddy I talked to Sunday morning, I was like, what balls? He goes, oh, yeah. And we would have run his ass out of town this morning. And that's right when I was thinking, was he trying to get run out of town? But anyway, no. Brass balls, you got him, Kalen DeBoer. That was fantastic. All right, speaking of another man with brass ones, my good is the Diego Pavia show, which we got another great example of last week. And it now has him, which we'll get to in a minute, the co-favorite to win the Heisman. Jay, I feel like it was 3 or 4 weeks ago we could have snagged him at 35-1.
It was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Vandy hadn't even put together a Diego for Heisman promotional campaign yet.
Yeah,
you're burying the lead right here.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
All things good, Diego.
Everything good, Diego.
Including his Stifler's mom. I mean,
she has the Heisman pose down. She's
Two things.
Yeah.
This show has been in front of the Diego Pavia train ahead of everybody else.
Undoubtedly.
Second thing. Did you see the latest breaking news about Diego Pavia?
I don't think so.
He has now petitioned Donald Trump
an
executive order to expand the college football playoff to 16 teams.
I somebody texted me that this morning. I thought it was just some joke. Like I didn't know that's legit. That's real.
That's what I saw. I can't vouch for its realness or not, but that's what I saw online.
Okay.
Although somebody needs to explain that. I don't know how empathetic our sitting president is on guys with first names named Diego.
Oh yeah, that's bad. All right, back to my boy. Back to my boy Diego. I mean, this was a 21-21 game at halftime, and then it just became an ass beating, an absolute runaway. And Diego, he did throw 2 uncharacteristic picks, but he had 268 passing yards, which unfortunately came up just a tad shy of the passing prop that I had for him. But I had his over rushing yards, which I believe was 57.5. He went for a season best 165 on the ground on 20 attempts, 1 touchdown, 8.3 yards per carry average. He spread the love around to his receivers. It was just a love fest for Vandy football. They smashed Tennessee 45-24 to secure their first 10-win season in program history. Clark Lee, after getting overtures and interest from other high-power programs, signed an extension. And now today they get the highest, actually their first, and he's already signed and sealed, it's not verbal. They get their first 5-star in program history, which is the Diego effect. And has he altered the course of Vandy football forever? Maybe, because I looked up who is the second highest recruit that they've ever gotten in program history, and that is a linebacker in the 2027 class that's already verbally committed. So Lee's got their 2 best recruits ever, one lined up for now or for 2026, and 247 Sports Composite, although Jay told me he's overrated, 247 Sports Composite has him ranked as the number 1 overall player in the entire class. Anyway, so yeah, all things good, Vandy and Diego.
Anchor down.
Anchor down. You're bad? You feel free to remark on the overratedness of their highest all-time commit.
No, sounds like sour grapes at this point.
Okay.
My bad will play off that. That was a listless second half from Tennessee. And look, Tennessee has struggled the back half of the year defensively. I mean, they lost a lot off defense. We knew it was going to be an issue. They're going to have to outscore people. But it was a complete and total collapse at home against a rival that you were favored over, that you have eternally and perpetually dominated, and they punched you in the jaw and then in the gut and made you ask for seconds. So
it looked like they would beat you 10 times out of 10 times in your house.
And it made them like it. It made them like it.
You take it and you like it. Quick side combo. They're not making it. Last night secured that. They're not making the top, the playoff. Vandy's not making the playoff. Aren't there a couple teams that look like they're going to make that field that on a neutral field against Vandy right now? I would pick Vandy on a neutral field against a lot of those teams.
You picking Vandy over Notre Dame?
Hell no.
Okay.
Not Texas Tech.
No.
Texas? Yep.
Texas is 1 spot ahead. Texas is not in the field.
Yeah, but they might get in the field, right?
No, they won't. Because, hey, they're still 2 conference champions. You got to be looking at it against the top 10, not the top 12.
Okay. Right.
Conference champions ranked below Vandy. They're going to hop Vandy.
Miami and Vandy on a neutral.
Miami. Hey, we've got a rule, because these are hypotheticals, we can pick against Diego. It's not actual real life. I mean, it's like picking Diego or a unicorn.
Right.
Diego.
We know how that went for you, Auburn plus 6.5 the other week.
the man, as big a game breaker as Diego is, that freshman wide receiver Tony at Miami is a boss.
Yeah, he is. He is. Okay, my bad. It's the end of the Mark Stoops era. And I hate it for him, man, because he's the best coach they've ever had. Like, and it's not even close.
Shut up, dude. Bear Bryant coached there.
Okay. My bad. Well, right. Well, in terms of longest tenured and everything, I mean,
I don't think he's a better coach than Rich Brooks. Rich Brooks did great things there.
The 2007 win over eventual national championship LSU was my upset of the year at the Vegas Insider Seminar.
And see, now you're pissing on Rich Brooks' grave.
I called it in August. Rich Brooks did a hell of a job his last 3 or 4 years. I'll give you that. But you had just beaten Louisville 5 in a row, both straight up and ATS until last year. And then you just get bageled last week. Yikes. He's going to get paid, though. I'm not feeling too bad for Mark, but man, that's a tough way to go out. That extension that Kentucky signed when A&M was potentially going to hire him, which is worse, Norvell's extension or Stoopsy's extension?
It's clear it's Norvell's because Florida State can't get out of that, right, even if they would love to.
Well, Kentucky's paying a big dollar bill, too.
All right, my ugly is everything that has happened really from like March 1st to today in 2025 in Columbia, South Carolina. You get Lenore Sellers, he's coming back. I know he wasn't draft eligible, but he's coming back. He spurs the overtures from the portal, even talking about tampering in the offseason, about schools offering him millions. You've got several dudes who making a splash from the NFL draft, but you can't replace them. And this year was an unmitigated disaster, capped with a relatively disinterested loss against in-state Clemson, and it's just been awful.
Obviously, they're not firing him, so he goes into next year on a Billy Bob-like hot seat. Yeah. All right. My ugly. It's kind of my ugly, but it's also a visor tip to them as well because being able to bet against them was pretty profitable. And we said all August that Arkansas overs were going to be a thing, although they didn't get to the over the other day. But I think it still went, I want to say 8-4. But anyway, the Arkansas defense is the ugly. 127 out of 136 FBS teams in scoring D. 117 versus the run. 102 versus the pass. 123 in total defense. I mean, if Auburn's defense was on Arkansas's same team with Arkansas's offense, what's that record? 9-3, 10-2?
75-0.
It's been pretty damn good, that's for sure. That Arkansas defense, so bad, but it helped me. I had Missouri in the second half. I had Ahmad Hardy's rushing yards prop. I'm going to miss this Arkansas defense on a weekly basis. I'm going to miss the offense as well. And how about Petrino ruining my Taylon Green props, which, by the way, I texted my guy, Wes Moore, who's long time on the beat in Arkansas that I do radio with. I texted him like 3 hours before kick. I'm like, Taylon Green's starting, right? Because I'm about to bet his rushing yards prop like I do every week, but I'm a little worried about playing time. Petrino was pissed at him last week. He goes, I don't see why today would be any different. And then they turn on the telecast, and he's not starting. I texted my bookie that I want that taken off.
How'd that go for you?
We'll see next time I see him. All right. You did your ugly. Okay. Let's move on, and let's talk the coaching carousel. I know you've been talking about it on other videos on this platform. So I'll start. First off, all the Ole Miss local beat writers have refuted clearly with quotes everything that Kiffin was saying on his way out of town. How the team wanted him to stay. The team did not want him to stay. The leadership council guys went into his office, livid with him, and asking him, "Are you really telling Charlie Weiss Jr. if he gets on that plane, he's not going to have a job if he didn't get on that plane? So you want all our coaches to go. You don't want us to win anything in the playoff, huh?" And basically, they told him, "Well, get out of here. I mean, beat it, dude. What are you doing? Why is he trying to play the victim card on the way out the door? Come on, Kiffin. What you're doing is so dirt." By the way, I haven't listened to you guys on the other I know y'all have done a bunch of videos. I haven't gone back and listened to those. When I do, I'm interested. Who got after Kiffin the most? I'm going to guess it was you.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty universal.
Right.
One of the things that I got after was, look, man, I think Pat McAfee's a genius. I think Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach in the history of the game, and right there with Gino Auriemma, Pat Summitt, and John Wooden among the greatest college sports coaches ever.
Billy Donovan, Steve Spurrier.
Shut up. No, shut up. Zip it. Put a button on it, lock it up. But for lack of a better phrase, and I don't know how nasty our language can get on this thing, but the borderline fellatio that the College Game Day crew was giving Lane Kiffin on Saturday morning was nauseating. Let the man finish what he starts. If he wants to finish what he starts, stick it out, jackass. I mean, the Oregon coach is staying there. I mean, if LSU wants you bad enough, they'll let you finish this and then come get you and then jump in the portal. But the last thing Lane Kiffin is a victim. And I linked, to what you were talking about him posting on social media in his goodbye statement that despite the team asking Keith Carter to let me keep coaching, Bryson Sanders, an Ole Miss starting offensive line, quoted that on Twitter and said, I think everyone that was in our locker room would disagree, period.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And what about Marty Smith's little slow pitch girls softball? I know girls softball is good. You got a fastball pitcher. The slow pitch little league softball questions from Marty Smith. I like Marty, but come on, bro.
Well, I mean, and I talked about this too. Marty and McGee is a great show. They're entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I like it.
And I haven't been around Marty all that much, but I've seen Ryan at multiple SEC media days. And he is one of the nicer dudes that works at the 4-letter network. But that puff piece of the many lives of Lane Kiffin, where he talks about all the changes he's made, and then he does the exact same thing to Ole Miss that he did to Tennessee.
But worse. Way worse.
Tennessee was 7-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the many lives of Lane Kiffin, where he's reportedly threatened coaches, either get on the plane or you don't have a job. That's reminiscent of Orgeron going up and down. And as Lane Kiffin's doing the press conference, because remember, school had already started. So a lot of their recruits had already enrolled early at Tennessee.
Y'all want to go to USC with us? Go to
USC with us.
We're going to
And
California.
you know as well as I do, Coach O's going to be on that staff. 1,000%.
Yeah, that's it. I like that part. Go Tigers.
But look. To be fair, every college in the country, with the exception of maybe the Ohio State, Indiana, and Georgia, would have drove to Oxford to pick Lane up. He's that good and that big of a difference maker on Saturdays. But you didn't have to handle it like this big a jackass.
Yeah, you did not. You absolutely did not. And then, I mean, look, you and I have both lost our dad. I mean, it was almost like he was bringing up his,
God, yes.
He was bringing up his dad to like get everybody off his back. Like, I'm not.
Dad moved 17 times. Your dad was an assistant, Jack Wagon.
Oh, and by the way, your dad turned down head coaching opportunities constantly to be loyal to his players like Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, and stayed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for all those years, turning down head coaching opportunities. Your dad would have told you to be loyal to your doggone team is what he would have told you.
Yeah. And I say all of that with this very real admission, because both your alma mater and mine tried to hire him in the last 3 years. I would bet the under 3 years before LSU wins the Natty with Lane on staff.
Possibly. But it could go the other way.
Well, and that's the next point I was getting to. I don't recall a hiring that is either going to be A+ or F-.
Yeah.
There is zero in between.
Nothing. I mean, look, it was no zero in between with Brian Kelly either. I mean, you're going to win a Natty in 4, maybe you get 5 years if you're sniffing close to it a bunch. But I mean,
he inflicted a lot of that of all or nothing, the fake Cajun accent.
Kelly. Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot of post-hiring. What are you doing? I mean, but all right, if you take Kiffin out of the conversation, who's your favorite hire of the other 5 SEC, or I guess?
So we got Silverfield, Arkansas. We got Sumrall to Florida. We got Golish to Auburn. We got Will Stein to Kentucky. Is that it?
And Golding to Ole Miss.
Yeah. I will say that I like Ole Miss's team. They can outscore anybody. And I'm glad they're getting Charlie Weiss Jr. back. Oh, thanks, Lane. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
and he made Charlie Weiss write like a hostage note. Did you read that? I mean,
what the hell, dude?
Thanks so much to LSU administrators for allowing me to go and do the thing that we should have done from the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm being forced at the bayonet to write this note of appreciation.
I don't know that I want to rank 1 through 6. I have a few thoughts on that, but I first of all want to say to all the youngsters out there that aren't familiar with the Bill Frieder and Steve Fisher story, Bill Frieder was leaving for Arizona State in 1989 when he had Loy Vaught and Sean Higgins and Glenn Rice and Terry Mills and all these.
Some dude named Ramil Robinson who made some pretty big
and a dude named Ramil Robinson who may or may not still be in prison, along with Tate George, the hero of the tournament the next year. I'm not sure if Ramil's still in prison, but yeah. So Frieder wanted to coach the team in the tournament, even though he'd taken the ASU job, and Bo Schembechler said a Michigan man will coach Michigan, and Steve Fisher won 6 in a row and won the Natty, and then got the job, and then got the Fab Five, and the rest is history. I do not see Pete Golding pulling a Steve Fisher. I'll say that.
No, but to be fair, and if we kick around a sentence or a thought on all these jobs, considering the impossible scenario, and I think Keith Carter, the Ole Miss athletic director, came out of this smelling just absolutely as good as he possibly could. You can't let Lane coach. I mean, no matter how much he wants to have his cake and eat it too, because who knows how much he's maybe trying to steal from within on that. I mean, you just can't do it.
Oh, it's never even an option, period.
And you couldn't bring in an outside guy to coach this team on such short notice. And look, you're not leaving Golding coaching for his job in a very unique and untenable situation. And look, he was a former defensive coordinator for Nick Saban. Coordinators from Nick Saban have had a lot of success as head coaches in college football. So in the grand scheme of things, this is completely understandable. It may not work. It could be Matt Luke 2.0. But
they wanted Sumrall, but I think Sumrall wanted to go to Florida instead. But I will give Golding this. John Talty of CBS Sports, the quote that he had just gets him off to a flying start with the fan base, because in the second half of Auburn, Alabama, Golding reportedly said to Kiffin, "Won't you take your ass home and watch the rest of this game? This
ain't your office anymore.
It's in your office anymore." Yeah. That's fantastic. All right, I'm gonna say that Florida got the best. I think I'm gonna say Florida got the best. I think Summerall's gonna do good. I think Florida may have dodged the bullet with Lane. He was obviously good. I mean, he would have taken. I don't know that Alabama would ever want him, but he would have sold Florida down the river in a heartbeat to go to Alabama, and he may do the same for LSU. Although I just don't know if Greg Byrne didn't want him 2 years ago, so I don't know that that'll ever happen. But he would, and I don't know what the buyout is. I'm sure LSU insisted on a monstrosity of a buyout, but
$7 million.
That's it.
Yes.
Interesting. So Sexton made sure it's not that much, so he can get the Alabama job if they want. There it is.
You're talking conspiracy theories with DeBoer. I have heard multiple people float the conspiracy theory that the reason Lane was dragging his feet this long,
if DeBoer left, he wanted that.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Also, and I put this in my column, if the New York Giants come calling when they sign Jackson Dart to a long-term extension in 4 or 5 years, that could be another option. All right, so who's your number one? You like your guy, right?
I do like Golish. And I like Golish even more on this Wednesday, December 3rd, with Tuesday night's news that defensive coordinator DJ Durkin is coming back for another year, which means, because look, we were debating, the powers that be at Auburn were debating about should they just give it to Durkin. I mean, now you get a bona fide offensive guy turning the defense over to Durkin and letting him run, and you may get the opportunity to save some of the talent in the portal, because Durkin was very well regarded in the locker room. I think we all agree that Arkansas is the biggest, oh my, is this going to work?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's on a 3-game losing streak at Memphis, but he has fared well against SEC teams. Mike Leach and Sam Pittman can tell you as much. He also beat Matt Campbell by double digits in a bowl game a couple years ago. I could never speak poorly of Alex Golish, who won outright in the Swamp this year and very easily could have won his first season at USF with a team that ended up going like not very good, 3-9, 4-8. They missed a field goal in the last play of regulation to not force overtime, and it was not the first field goal they had missed that day. He could easily be 2-0 in the Swamp. So it would be piss poor of me to speak bad of him in any way. I'm not allowed to do that. Not that I want to. All right. Who else in the search? I don't really know a whole lot about Will Stein, so I don't know that I can even. Do you?
I know enough about him to look at the last 3 quarterbacks he's worked with and turned Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel into NFL starters, and now has Dante Moore with a New York City invite in.
And Mel Kiper's got Dante Moore up there at the top of this draft as well, which I do not agree with, but whatever.
It's not like he's going to get 5-star guys out of high school. He's doing it with the modern version of how this works, especially if you're Kentucky. You go pay a portal guy, make certain he knows your system, and then you're up and running.
Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes with Silverfield and Golding. So, Golden's got a huge OC. He's not going to hire Joe Judge as his OC, is he?
I doubt it. Do we know if the new Kentucky coach is related to former Kentucky player Willie Cauley-Stein.
I'm going to say no. That would be a hoops player, by the way, for those scoring at home. I don't believe so. All right, so let's move to some FanDuel lines and odds and what have you coming out of last night's CFP ranking. So Ohio State to win the CFP is the plus 185 favorite. Indiana plus 370, Georgia plus 750, Notre Dame 10-1, Oregon 10-1, Texas Tech 11-1. I have a better number than that, but if there's a ticket to buy, I say it's Texas Tech at 11-1, A&M 11-1, Bama 14-1, Ole Miss 25-1, Oklahoma 65-1, Miami 100-1, North Texas 300, Virginia 500, Tulane 600. BYU 1,000, James Madison 1,000, and Duke 1,000. I mean, what are we doing here with Duke and Virginia? Like, how Miami? How can you? Duke and Virginia are in the ACC championship game ahead of you. Very interesting. All right, Heisman. Oh, excuse me. Diego was the co-favorite before this show started, but since then, Mendoza has gone from plus 165 co-favorite with Pavia to plus 160 chalk. Pavia is now plus 170. Julian Sayin plus 220. Jeremiah Love 50-1. I imagine those four are the only ones going to be invited. Jeremiah Smith is 200 to 1. So, you know what? We have LSU over under for next season. Without looking at the schedule, do you want to take a gander at what that would be?
9.5.
You nailed it. However, what would you say it's juiced to, the under or the over? Because it's juiced heavily.
I would probably say under.
Under? You're correct. Minus 172 to the under. Huh. That's kind of interesting. All right. Let's talk.
Got to remember too, Brian. Next year's the first year of 9 SEC games.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I don't know who their non-conference is, although I imagine they probably have a heavy hitter. Okie dokie. Let's go to Alabama.
Clemson coming back?
Probably. I can look that up in a second. So Alabama. Oh gosh, why did I just? Let's see here. Alabama, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Hot Atlanta, FanDuel, Georgia minus 2.5, minus 114 price, minus 106 on your plus 2.5 if you like Bama. UGA money line minus 138, Bama plus 115 on the comeback. 47.5 is the total. Anytime touchdown props. Jeremy Bernard plus 115, Jam Miller plus 135 along with Daniel Hill, Zachariah Branch plus 155, Nate Frazier plus 150, Ryan Williams plus 180, Gunnar Stockton plus 195, Noah Thomas plus 240. I'm skipping a few guys. Ty Simpson plus 430, Oscar Delp plus 500. Rushing props. Frazier 61.5. All these are minus 114 either way. Stockton 26.5. Simpson 8.5. Bowens 31.5. Receiving props. Bernard 58.5. Williams 44.5. Man, Williams 44.5. Branch 57.5. Thomas 26.5. Wow. Delp 17.5. Passing props. Simpson 250.5. Stockton 195.5. All righty. What you thinking here?
I think you and I are going to be on different sides.
Oh, if you're going with Georgia, I'm going to be on the opposite side. That's not a rule here either. That's not a rule here either. That's not rule number 5.
No, bleep no. Look, man. If you are going to go on Bama and you're going to take the points, wait. Because
100%. You wait for 3 because it doesn't matter if you have 2.5 or 2 or 1.5.
Well, and you may even get more than 3 because I don't see the way Jam Miller left that game Saturday night and Jordan-Hare. I don't see him playing. Now, this isn't even getting into the layers of should they play, what is to gain out of this, and would the committee hold Alabama's third loss being in the SEC championship game and risk Greg Sankey having kittens by keeping Alabama out of the playoff? Because he would now. He would, because you've now neutered the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to hold it against the team that loses, and there are teams that will make that argument. The thing that's so amazing about the college playoff rankings is that Alabama nor Notre Dame are going to be able to outbrand the one it's butting heads with in the pecking order. Right. Because Alabama ain't going to get outbranded by Notre Dame, and Notre Dame ain't going to get outbranded by Alabama.
Yep.
But look, I think Georgia's playing its best football at the right time.
You thought they played good last week? Defensively, they did.
Yeah, I do think they got stagnant offensively, but
do you know how many points Georgia Tech have been giving up the previous games?
And I know that completely goes out the window.
Why?
What do you mean?
Rivalry game?
Yeah, rivalry game.
Georgia Tech gave up 48 to NC State, 42 to Pitt. How many did Boston College score? I get lazy. Can you believe I've got lazy last few weeks and not filled in my results?
Nobody can see that. I mean, You don't have a day job, Brian. I mean, you should have like Phil Steele boxes of just worthless intel.
I do, but I did not fill in the score for the Boston College game. They scored like 38 on Georgia Tech. Anyway, go ahead.
No Jam Miller. I was not super impressed with Alabama's offensive line.
They can't run the ball all year.
And look, man, Ryan Williams was a no-show last week.
He's been a no-show all year.
And I think there's something wrong with Ty Simpson. Because for the first 8 weeks, you and I were super impressed. He was getting top half of round 1 NFL scuttlebutt. Last 3, so since middle of November, maybe their book's out on him and people are figuring out ways to increase the pressure. He made a couple of unbelievable throws against Auburn, but he just threw it into space and because Auburn was running 7 or 8 guys at the quarterback.
I know he only threw for 122 yards, but 3 tutties, no picks is good. I feel like he had a couple of clutch scrambles, didn't he?
He had one big scramble.
26 yards, I see it here, yeah.
Yes, but if everybody's talking about Alabama ran the ball well against Auburn, and Auburn defensively has been great against the run all year. Jam Miller ran the ball great against Auburn.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody else was, other than Ty Simpson's one broken play scramble, everything else was like 24 carries for 35 yards.
So we'll know more about Jam Miller tonight. We're recording Wednesday, as I said earlier. The availability report becomes available tonight. I'll let you have the floor back. Let me just go over some stats from the Alabama-Georgia game in Athens earlier in the year. Simpson, 24-38, 276, 2 tutties, no picks. Jam Miller limited to 46 yards on 16 carries. Ryan Williams had 5 catches, 43 yards. Bernard, 5 catches, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. Stockton, only 13 of 20, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Bowens had 119 rushing yards on 12 carries. Frazier only got 4 carries that game. And Georgia trailed 24-14 at halftime, got a touchdown mid-third, and there was no more scoring the rest of the way. All right, so you're taking Georgia.
I am.
All right, you want to know why I'm taking Bama?
Because they've won 10 of the last 11 in the series.
Since Matt Stafford threw that touchdown pass in overtime, Saban's first year in 2007 at Bryant-Denny, 10-1, and in reality, truth be told, if I don't even care that Mechie blew his knee when they absolutely pimp slapped them 41-24 in a game that wasn't even that close 5 weeks before they played in Indy in January of 2022. All they needed was Jameson Williams that game. He was off to an awesome start. Alabama had the lead. He blows his knee out, changes everything. I will say till my dying day, Alabama wins that game if Jameson Williams doesn't blow his knee out. I know they win that game if Mechie but none of that matters. But anyway, Alabama owns Georgia. They own Kirby, and they went outright. But wait to get a 3 later in the week. All right. Our non-SEC picks. I'll go first.
I think after what I saw last week, and I know I've Googled him, and I know Curt Cignetti wins, Ohio State's about to reestablish some order in the Big Ten, brother.
Okay, I don't really like that game pregame. I want Ohio State to get a lead. I want to get my boy Cignetti catching double digits with a live line, and that's what
Hey, no kidding. I don't know how much of the Michigan game you watched because I know there was a lot of other SEC games on, and there was a lot of games you were probably betting on. I watched a bunch of the Ohio State-Michigan. That's the best team in the country, and it's not real close.
I got to push back on that just a touch as I get to their team page. First off, I don't think Michigan's any good. Ohio State beat Texas 14-7 in Arch's first career road start.
And in Julian Satan's first start in the
fair counterpoint. That is a really dominant – that's a nice win at Washington, although I remember Washington – had some scoring opportunities that game. I think they went for it on fourth down a couple of times down the red zone. Didn't get anything, but 24-6 at Washington across the country. I'll give it to you. That's a good win. 34-16 at Illinois. That's a pretty good win. They were pretty disappointing, but they were still a pretty decent team. You put it on Penn State. I mean, they just really hadn't played anybody.
Then who do you think's as good?
Texas Tech. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, its 2 best opponents it lost to. Texas Tech.
Those were C.J. Carr's first – that was his first playing time of his career.
Name if you're going to go through Ohio State's schedule, I just ask you to be consistent in your prism. And I'm not stumping for Ohio State. I'm just telling you what my eyes told me. Defensively, that front 7 is fierce.
Michigan's offense. How many did Michigan score the other day? 9?
6, maybe.
Okay. They only scored 13 at Oklahoma. Well, they were at home, though. My bad. All right, maybe I shouldn't be pushing back on you too bad. I mean, they're the favorite, but
did you see the end of the Notre Dame game? Notre Dame-Stanford game?
I did not.
2.5 minutes to go. Stanford goes down and scores. Notre Dame's like a 30.5 point favorite. To cut the game to 28, Stanford scores. It's actually a guy named Chris Meyer, who is Rick Meyer's son.
Rick Meyer's very big disappointment.
Notre Dame starts throwing the ball with the backup quarterback because of style points.
And they want to cover.
Maybe. I mean, that's a sketchy in the modern era of all these controversies and court cases. You got to be real careful with perception right there. They drive it down inside the Stanford 10, and the only reason they don't punch it in is because the center had a bad snap on 3rd and goal from the 6. Up 28.
It was almost a bad beat, huh?
It was a bad beat in all directions.
All right, non-SEC picks for me. Give me Texas Tech, 12.5 at last look. They give out beat downs on the regular. They're 10-2 ATS. They beat BYU by 22 at home as a 13.5 point favorite, even though when they settle for field goals of 27, 39, 29, and 34. They don't normally settle for field goals like that. They're going to smash BYU. Let's also go Texas Tech team total over 30.5 because they're second in the nation in scoring, 47.1 points per game average, and they have scored at least 34 in 10 of 12 games. They only scored 29 against BYU, but I just told you how they settled for short field goals there. Let's go to the Jack State Gamecocks. Plus, but let's wait, like the Alabama game, let's wait and see if we can get 3. They've already beat Greason's Kennesaw State team 35-26 at home, and they have won 11 home games in a row while going 9-2 against the spread. And Cam Cook leads the nation in rushing yards, 1,588 yards. I'll also go with the Lions and the Bears in the NFL. Lions -3 to Dallas. The Lions in their last 12 games off a loss during the regular season have won 12 in a row, going 11-1 against the spread. 10 of those 12 wins by double-digit margins. I know they're dealing with injuries, but the Cowboys, they're hot. 3-game winning streak, but 2 of them at home. The one on the road to Vegas, they're only 2-4 straight up, 3-3 against the spread on the road. I like the Lions. And finally, the Bears, let's buy the half point to 7 if your number's not 7. They've won 5 in a row, 9 of 10, 8-2 ATS in that stretch. Caleb Williams, 8-1 TDI-INT ratio in their last 5. And the Packers are only 4-2 straight up, 3-3 against the spread at home. So they're gettable at home. Bears +7, Lions -3 in NFL. You got anything?
The other one I'll probably have a little on is trying to figure out who's got the best number on UNLV, and potentially, I think Boise State's a little overrated.
Especially without their quarterback.
Yeah, and I could be talked into finding ways to back the over in that game too, because UNLV moves the football and is a little bit allergic to tackling at times.
I concur. No Troy +23. I looked at James Madison's results at home. They give out pep stops. Now Chesney staying. I mean, I know he's going to UCLA. I guess he's coaching the game. Summerall's coaching for Tulane.
I think you're contractually obligated to coach
in the conference
championship.
Okay, that makes sense. But Florida has said Summerall can coach all the way through the playoff if he wants. All right. If you need to go, you can. But I'm going to pay some bills real quick. Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and designed for meaning. Each piece is handcrafted from solid 14K gold and natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit and backed by a lifetime guarantee. Because every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized, knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where our sizing kit comes in. Code SE16KIT will take 100% off the sizing kit at checkout. Also, ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, Rock Lock secure mounting, SCC25 for 25% off. All right. Gators lost to Duke by 1 last night. No moral victories, but we couldn't throw it in the ocean from 3. We couldn't throw it in the ocean from 3 all year. Florida's going to eventually shoot good. I liked how Boogie Flan played last night. We're going to be okay. And how in the hell did they not call that goaltending on Houck's shot? I mean, who knows how it plays out, but losing by 1, obvious goaltending they missed. That sucks because I hate Duke and I like to beat Duke. Maybe we'll get a rematch in March. All right, for Jay Greeson, I'm Brian Edwards. This is Southeastern 16. Thanks for joining us. We are presented to you by FanDuel, and we're over and out. Chat next week. Good luck with your bets.